The courtroom is silent. Even the faint shuffle of papers seems deafening. Sunlight cuts through the blinds, casting long stripes across the polished wood floor. Cody sits at the center, his hands clenched, jaw tight, eyes flicking between the women he's married to. Robin's lips tremble slightly as she shifts in her chair. Christine, ever the warrior, leans back with arms crossed, her piercing gaze unflinching. Janelle sits quietly, hands folded in her lap, while Mary fidgets, glancing toward the door, as if escape is an option. The air is thick with tension. Outside, a faint murmur of cameras from the media pool seeps through the hallway, reminding everyone that this isn't just a family dispute, it's a spectacle. The judge enters, her presence commanding silence. All rise, she intones, and the room stands as one, the gravity settling heavier than ever. The case, custody disputes mixed with accusations of mismanagement of family finances. Whispers of betrayal ripple through the courtroom. Robin's voice quivers as she stands to speak. Your Honor, this isn't just about money, it's about trust, and the lies that have been hiding in plain sight. Christine leans forward, the tension in her shoulders visible. Trust? She scoffs. Let's talk about truth. Let's talk about promises broken, and choices made without the rest of us knowing. The first witnesses are called, and the stories begin to unfold. Stories of whispered conversations, secret meetings, and hidden accounts. Each revelation stings sharper than the last. The women exchange looks, some shocked, some vindictive, some fearful. Cody remains stoic, but a bead of sweat traces his temple. The courtroom feels smaller, suffocating almost, as if every secret, every unspoken resentment, presses against the walls. The camera pans across the faces, capturing a mixture of hurt, anger, and determination. Retention booster, you won't believe what's about to be revealed next. It will shake the family to its core. As the morning session drags on, tension escalates. Lawyers speak in measured tones, each word calculated, each pause loaded with meaning. Robin recounts a moment late one night, a confrontation she had with Cody, that she says changed everything. Christine interrupts, her voice slicing the air. And where was I? Hidden away while decisions were made that affect us all. Janelle's eyes well up. We're supposed to be family, she whispers, barely audible, but the courtroom picks up the tremor in her voice. Mary bites her lip, as though holding back a storm of words she's desperate not to say aloud. By noon, every seat in the courtroom is occupied, and even the gallery is tense. The story has begun, but the truth is only starting to surface, and when the first bombshell drops, an unexpected text message, revealed in court, it changes everything. The women gasp, Cody's face hardens, the calm exterior slipping for the first time. The clock ticks, and the session ends not with resolution, but with a cliffhanger. A confidential letter addressed to the judge, handed over just as the gavel comes down. No one knows its contents yet, but everyone knows it will change the trajectory of this family's story forever. Retention booster. The next revelation will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about this family. The courtroom reopens after the lunch break, but the atmosphere has thickened. Every footstep on the polished floor echoes like a drumbeat, announcing the tension that refuses to dissipate. The judge peers over her glasses, scanning the room with measured patience, yet her eyes betray curiosity. She knows this session will stir storms. Robin rises first, her hands clasped tightly in front of her. Her voice is soft at first, almost trembling before it gains strength. Your Honor, I've lived in fear of what would happen if the truth came out. I trusted this family, this man, and I believed in fairness. But behind closed doors, things were different. She pauses, glancing at Cody, whose jaw tightens in response. The air seems to hold its breath. Christine doesn't wait. Her words are sharp, cutting like a blade. Truth? You speak of truth now? Let's not forget who kept secrets, who made decisions while pretending everything was fine. Let's talk about the betrayal that runs deeper than any disagreement over money. Her eyes flash, her hands gesture subtly, but with undeniable authority, making the courtroom feel smaller, suffocating. The first witness of this session is called, a longtime family friend, someone who has seen every hidden corner of this multi-wife household. Their testimony begins cautiously, almost conversationally, but soon escalates into explosive revelations. I saw letters, private accounts, meetings behind locked doors, choices that weren't shared. And I know it affected the children, the witness says, voice quivering with the weight of disclosure. The next secret will shock even the most loyal viewers. It's a revelation no one saw coming. Janelle sits silently, but tears glisten in her eyes as she listens. She had hoped loyalty and patience would shield the family, but now the foundation seems cracked. Mary fidgets, glancing around, worried that the courtroom's eyes are not just on Cody, but on her too. And Cody, though outwardly composed, clenches his fists beneath the table, the strain of the accusations beginning to show in the slight tremor of his hands. The tension crescendos when a confidential text message is read aloud by the judge, a message that Robin claims was sent by Cody late at night, containing promises and secrets no one else was meant to see. The courtroom erupts. Christine gasps audibly, her eyes narrowing. Janelle's hand covers her mouth. Even the spectators lean forward, hearts racing with anticipation. Robin's voice cracks as she continues. This message proves that decisions were being made, alliances formed, while the rest of us were left in the dark. Her tone shifts from sorrow to righteous anger, and for a moment, the courtroom seems frozen, caught between disbelief and outrage. The lawyers rise to speak. Each word weighted, calculated, evidence is presented. Receipts, screenshots, and even a short video that had circulated privately among the wives. The visuals hit hard, painting a vivid picture of the fractured trust within this family. The energy in the room is electric, charged with accusations, betrayal, and unspoken fears. And just when you think you know who holds the upper hand, a shocking confession will turn everything upside down. The emotional climax of this session hits when Christine breaks down, her defiance cracking into raw vulnerability. I never wanted this. I wanted respect, honesty. I wanted my children to know truth, not secrecy. Her voice trembles, and for a fleeting moment, the courtroom witnesses the human fragility beneath her fierce exterior. Cody's expression softens for a second, a flicker of regret, but it's quickly replaced by stoicism. Then the moment comes that no one expects. The judge calls for a brief recess and instructs the bailiff to bring in a new piece of evidence. A sealed envelope, recently obtained, containing a letter that could alter custody arrangements and expose previously unknown financial manipulations. The courtroom leans in collectively, curiosity and fear palpable. What's inside that envelope could change everything you thought you knew about this family's secrets. As the session ends, the camera pans across the faces, each reflecting shock, dread, and anticipation. The audience is left hanging, knowing that the next revelation could ignite the courtroom into chaos, reshape relationships, and leave everyone questioning loyalty, love, and justice. The tone in this session moves from tense and suspenseful, emotional and vulnerable, and shocking and explosive, keeping viewers engaged from start to finish. The courtroom reopens, but a heavy silence lingers, almost suffocating. Every chair squeaks. Every shuffle of papers resonates like a drumbeat. The sealed envelope from the last session lies on the judge's desk, untouched, but its presence alone sends a ripple of unease through everyone present. Cody's hands tap nervously against the table, a rhythm betraying the calm facade he desperately tries to maintain. Robin rises first. Her voice is almost a whisper, quivering with intensity. Your Honor, what I'm about to reveal isn't easy, but the family deserves the truth, no matter the cost. Her gaze sweeps across the courtroom. Christine's eyes narrow, and Janelle's lips press into a thin line, a mixture of fear and anticipation. Mary shifts uncomfortably, as though bracing herself for impact. The envelope is finally opened. Inside is a letter, written in Cody's hand, outlining financial transfers, private agreements with family members, and subtle yet unmistakable favoritism. The words, though composed, are damning. The courtroom gasps collectively, some audibly, some merely in expressions of disbelief. What's written in that letter will shock you and leave you questioning everyone's motives. Christine leans forward, her hands clenched. So this is the truth, she hisses, her voice low but sharp. All the whispers, the secrets, the late-night meetings. It's all here. Her chest heaves, not just from anger, but from the weight of betrayal. Robin swallows hard, trying to maintain composure, but tears well up in her eyes. The first witness of this session is a financial advisor, someone who had previously been peripheral but now holds center stage. They speak with calm authority, but the information is explosive. These transactions, if traced, show that certain accounts were moved without full disclosure. It raises questions about intent and fairness. The advisor explains. Each word lands like a hammer, hammering down on the fragile veneer of trust that once held this family together. Cody's face tightens, but his voice is measured. I had reasons. I thought I was protecting everyone. Yet the courtroom isn't convinced. The women exchange glances, disbelief and hurt written plainly on their faces. Just when you think the story can't get more intense, the next testimony will shatter every assumption. Next, a text message chain is displayed on the courtroom monitor, a conversation between Cody and an outside consultant, discussing strategies that could influence custody outcomes. The women react in real time: shock, anger, disbelief. Janelle's hand flies to her mouth, eyes wide. Mary's shoulders shake, fighting to hold back sobs. Robin's face hardens, her jaw set. Christine stands abruptly, the sound echoing in the silent room. The judge calls for a short recess, but the tension doesn't dissipate. Outside the courtroom, whispers circulate among the media. Inside, the women huddle quietly, each wrestling with their emotions. Robin murmurs, I never imagined it would go this far, that the truth would feel like a weapon. Christine's reply is sharp, cutting through the whisper. It always was a weapon. We just didn't see it. The emotional apex of this session hits when a child's voice, pre-recorded testimony, plays, recounting moments of confusion and hurt. The room grows quieter still. Even the judge flinches slightly, the weight of real, tangible impact settling over everyone. The children's experiences, once peripheral, now anchor the courtroom drama in raw human emotion. The next revelation will tear open hidden wounds and make you question loyalties in ways you never expected. Just as the session seems to reach a peak, a surprise witness enters. Someone from Cody's extended family, whose allegiance has always been ambiguous. Their testimony threatens to upend the alliances the women have relied upon, revealing secret conversations and hidden motives that no one anticipated. Eyes dart around the room, tension skyrockets. The courtroom holds its collective breath. The gavel comes down, signaling the end of this session, but the storm is far from over. Questions linger. Who can be trusted? What secrets remain hidden? And most importantly, what will happen when the truth finally comes fully into the light? Next session, the courtroom will erupt with a revelation that could change everything for this family forever. This session intentionally alternates between quiet tension, explosive revelation, emotional vulnerable, shocking twists, keeping viewers glued through every scene. The courtroom opens under a heavy, almost suffocating tension. The morning sun streams through tall windows, slicing through the stale air like a spotlight, illuminating the anxious faces of those present. Cody sits rigid, his eyes scanning the room as though expecting an ambush, though he knows the battlefield is already set. Robin's fingers twist in her lap, restless and anxious, her knuckles pale against her skin. Christine sits with a calculated stillness, her gaze sharp, almost predatory, as if daring anyone to challenge her. Janelle's shoulders are hunched forward, bracing for the storm, while Mary keeps her eyes fixed on the floor, hoping invisibility could protect her from the truth that looms over them all. The session begins slowly, the kind of tension that presses in from all sides, making the smallest sound, the shuffle of papers, the soft creak of a chair, feel amplified. The judge, a woman with an unwavering gaze and a calm, controlled presence, calls the court to order. Her voice cuts through the silence, firm but neutral. We will begin with testimony from the most recent witness. The words are simple, but in this room they are like sparks landing in dry tinder. The air feels ready to ignite. Robin is the first to speak, rising with a fragile strength that belies the storm inside her. Your Honor, I need everyone to understand that what I am revealing today isn't just a matter of financial decisions or legal obligations. It's about the trust that binds a family together, or destroys it when it's broken. Her voice wavers then steadies, the weight of her emotions giving her words a resonance that makes even the spectators lean in. Cody shifts slightly, uncomfortable with the intensity of her gaze, but remains seated, as if trying to anchor himself in stoicism. Christine leans forward sharply, breaking the fragile calm. Her voice is low, measured, and deadly precise. Trust? Robin, do you even know what that word means anymore? Let's talk about actions hidden behind closed doors, promises that were made and broken, and alliances formed in secrecy. This family was never meant to operate this way, yet here we are, watching it all crumble, because someone thought they could manipulate the truth. The room shivers under the weight of her words, the echo of betrayal bouncing from one wall to the next. A new witness is called, a former family manager, someone intimately familiar with the financial intricacies of the household. Their entrance is met with polite nods from the court, but the energy is charged. As the testimony unfolds, the calm veneer shatters. Documents are presented, spreadsheets, bank statements, and letters, all detailing decisions made without full transparency. The implications are staggering. Each revelation lands like a hammer against the fragile structure of trust, and the room collectively holds its breath with each detail. What comes next will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about this family. The first bombshell lands, when the witness confirms that certain accounts were moved in secrecy, and money allocated to specific family members without consensus. Eyes dart across the room. Robin's are wide with a mixture of vindication and dread. Christine's narrow with fury, and Janelle's glisten with unshed tears. Mary's face pales, her lips pressed tightly, as if to keep from screaming. Cody, usually composed, lets out a barely audible sigh, a tremor passing over his hand, as it rests on the polished wood of the table. The courtroom feels smaller, every breath shared, every heartbeat magnified, as the truth starts to spill like water over a dam. Then comes the testimony that shifts the emotional gravity entirely. A close family friend, someone who had previously stayed in the shadows, recounts private conversations, late-night meetings, and secret agreements. I tried to warn them, the witness says, voice low but heavy with emotion. I told them that transparency was crucial, that decisions made in the shadows could destroy more than just finances. They could destroy relationships, trust, and hearts. The courtroom goes silent, the weight of these words pressing down, making each participant reconsider the past, the choices, and the loyalty they thought was unshakable. The next confession will leave even the most loyal viewers in shock. Cody finally speaks, his voice steady but strained. I believed I was doing what was best for everyone. I thought I was protecting the family from conflict, from unnecessary arguments. I never imagined it would lead to this. The words hang in the air, vulnerable yet unconvincing. Christine's laugh is sharp, bitter, echoing like a crack of lightning across the courtroom. Protecting? You call hiding truth and manipulating finances protection? This isn't safeguarding anyone. It's betrayal, pure and simple. Robin rises again, her voice now carrying a steeliness that contrasts with her earlier vulnerability. Your Honor, I trusted him. I believed that what he said in private, in the quiet moments, reflected the truth. But the letters, the hidden accounts, the late-night calls, it's not just about money. It's about the foundation of trust that we all believed was real. She pauses, glancing at Cody. And it's gone. Shattered, the gallery is tense. Every observer feels the weight of the unraveling drama. Camera shifts subtly, capturing every twitch, every tear, every gesture. The emotions are raw, unfiltered. Janelle finally speaks, her voice trembling but firm. I can't believe it came to this. We were supposed to be a family. Now everything feels broken. Mary nods, tears finally spilling, a quiet sob shaking her frame. The room is saturated with emotion, and the air is nearly unbreathable, thick with grief, anger, and disbelief. And just when you think the worst has been revealed, the next moment will leave you holding your breath. Then comes the revelation that changes the trajectory of the courtroom entirely. A previously undisclosed letter surfaces, detailing agreements Cody had made with a distant relative. The terms are obscure but the implications devastating. Custody shifts, financial favoritism, and personal promises made without the consent of any of the wives. The courtroom erupts into murmurs, each woman processing the betrayal differently. Robin's eyes flare with a mixture of pain and anger. Christine's posture stiffens, her jaw clenched, ready to strike verbally. Janelle presses a hand to her chest, fighting to maintain composure. Mary swallows, her lips trembling as she tries to anchor herself in the storm. Cody sits, silent, the weight of exposure finally pressing down on him. The judge calls for order, but even her firm voice cannot fully contain the emotions swirling. Lawyers rise to object, speak, clarify, but the words feel secondary to the palpable tension. Every eye in the courtroom is drawn to Cody, silently questioning what else has been hidden, what else remains undiscovered. The letter becomes a fulcrum around which the entire drama pivots, forcing everyone to reevaluate alliances, loyalty, and trust. The next witness will reveal truths that no one could have anticipated, changing everything in an instant. The witness, an estranged family member, steps forward, their presence commanding attention. Their testimony is hesitant at first, but each word carries weight. "I never wanted to get involved," they begin. "But I saw things that couldn't remain hidden. I've kept quiet too long, and it's time the truth came out." Their account reveals clandestine meetings, whispered promises, and manipulations that span months, touching every member of the family. Each revelation sends ripples through the courtroom, shock, disbelief, anger, and sorrow, all intermingled in a visceral display. Robin's voice breaks through, a mixture of grief and determination. "I can't believe it. All this time we were kept in the dark. Our lives, our decisions, our children, all affected by secrets we had no knowledge of." Christine's reply is sharp, almost slicing the air between them. "No, Robin, we weren't kept in the dark. Some of us just didn't see the full scope until now." Her words sting, raw and accusatory. The emotional apex of the session arrives when the judge instructs the court to review the letters and documents once more. Each family member reacts differently. Robin grips the edge of the table, bracing herself. Christine paces slightly, restless and furious. Janelle closes her eyes, taking shallow breaths, trying to hold herself together. Mary buries her face in her hands, trembling. Even Cody's composure falters, a shadow of vulnerability passing over his features. Just when it seems the family cannot be further torn apart, a final revelation is about to shatter everything you thought was certain. The gavel hits, signaling the end of the session, but the cliffhanger is palpable. Questions hang in the air like storm clouds. Who truly has the moral high ground? What secrets remain hidden? And when the courtroom reconvenes, what will explode next, setting off consequences none of them could have anticipated? The session closes not with answers, but with a promise that the drama is far from over, and the next act will test every bond, every truth, and every loyalty to its breaking point. The courtroom reopens with a heavy, almost electric tension. The sunlight streaming through the windows no longer feels warm, it feels accusatory, like it is exposing every secret, every lie, and every hidden motive. Cody sits rigid, his hands folded tightly on the polished table, knuckles white. There's a slight tremor in his fingers, subtle but visible, as if the weight of the past sessions is finally pressing down on him. Robin's eyes dart from Cody to Christine, to Janelle, and finally Mary, each glance carrying a storm of emotion, betrayal, sorrow, and a desperate need for justice. Christine leans back slightly in her chair, exuding a cool, calculated demeanor, but the tension radiating from her is palpable. She taps her fingers lightly against the table, each tap deliberate, a metronome counting down the suspense that hangs thick in the air. Janelle sits forward, hands clasped tightly, shoulders tense, while Mary seems almost frozen, eyes cast downward, silently bracing herself for what is about to unfold. The session begins with the reading of an anonymous letter, that arrived at the judge's desk overnight. Its contents are vague, yet suggestive, hints of hidden correspondence, undisclosed decisions, and potential manipulations that may have affected the children and finances. The courtroom murmurs quietly, a low hum of anticipation and fear, and the women exchange nervous glances, each wondering if their worst suspicions are about to be confirmed. Robin stands first, her voice steady but quiet. Your Honor, this letter may seem inconsequential to some, but to us, it's proof that decisions were made behind closed doors, decisions that affect our lives, and the lives of our children. Her hands tremble slightly, as she gestures toward the judge, emphasizing the gravity of her words. Cody shifts in his seat, trying to maintain control, but a flicker of unease crosses his face. The next revelation will push this family to the edge, testing loyalties and exposing secrets no one was prepared for. Christine rises sharply, her voice cutting through the murmurs. Proof? You call this proof? Let's talk about the choices that have been hidden for years, choices that have shaped our lives without our consent. This family was supposed to operate on honesty, yet we are here, uncovering truths like strangers. Her words hang in the air, sharp and accusatory, and the tension in the room becomes almost tangible, a living thing pressing down on everyone present. The judge calls for the first witness, a former household manager, who had intimate knowledge of family finances and private agreements. The witness's testimony begins cautiously but quickly escalates, as they reveal details about secret accounts, unapproved expenditures, and hidden communications. Each statement lands like a hammer, reshaping the narrative and shaking the courtroom to its core. Janelle's hands clench tighter in her lap, Robin's face hardens, and Mary's eyes glisten with tears. She can't hold back. What you're about to hear next will make you question every assumption about loyalty, trust, and family. The session intensifies when the witness presents emails and screenshots showing conversations between Cody and a trusted confidant, messages discussing strategic decisions made without the knowledge of the other wives. The content is damning. Plans for financial transfers, decisions about custody, and conversations that reveal alliances and favoritism. The women react instantly. Christine leans forward, jaw clenched and eyes burning with anger. Robin bites her lip, holding back both tears and a rising fury. Janelle swallows hard, struggling to maintain composure, and Mary lets out a quiet, shaking breath, overwhelmed by the unfolding revelations. Cody finally speaks, his voice steady but strained. I never meant to hurt anyone. I believed I was making the best choices for everyone involved. His words feel hollow against the weight of the evidence, and Christine responds immediately, her tone icy. Best choices? Best for whom? Certainly not for us, not for the children. This is manipulation, pure and simple. And just when you think the tension couldn't rise any higher, an unexpected witness will shake the courtroom to its very foundation. The surprise witness enters, a distant family member, who had previously remained silent. Their testimony is hesitant at first, then grows bolder as the truth spills out. They recount secret conversations, undisclosed promises, and actions taken without the knowledge of the rest of the wives. Each revelation cuts through the courtroom like a knife, eliciting reactions that range from gasps to outright sobs. Janelle presses a hand to her mouth, eyes wide with disbelief. Mary shakes slightly, trying to remain composed, while Robin's expression hardens, determination replacing her earlier sorrow. Christine's stare is cold and unyielding, absorbing every detail with calculated intensity. The emotional apex arrives when pre-recorded testimony from one of the children is played. Their words, innocent yet deeply affecting, describe confusion, hurt, and the feeling of being caught in the crossfire of adult decisions. The courtroom grows silent, the weight of the child's perspective shifting the energy, making the stakes painfully real. Even Cody's composure cracks slightly, a fleeting shadow of regret passing over his face. The next revelation will change the course of this case, challenging every alliance and leaving no one unscathed. The final moments of the session are dominated by the reading of an unexpected document, a notarized agreement that had been hidden from the rest of the family. Its contents suggest manipulation in custody arrangements and allocation of funds, leaving the women visibly shaken. Robin grips the edge of the table, her knuckles white, while Christine leans forward, voice low but sharp, demanding answers. Janelle's eyes brim with tears, and Mary struggles to process the unfolding reality. Cody sits silently, the weight of exposure finally pressing down on him, and for the first time, his usually calm exterior falters. As the gavel comes down, signaling the end of the session, the tension does not ease. Questions swirl in the air like a storm. Who can be trusted? Which alliances are genuine? And which are built on manipulation? And most importantly, what hidden truths will be revealed in the next session, promising to shake the family even further? The audience is left at the edge of suspense, desperate for answers, as the story continues to unravel in ways no one could have anticipated. The courtroom is tense, almost vibrating with anticipation. The previous sessions have left emotional scars that linger like invisible chains, and every person present carries the weight of revelations already made. Cody sits at the center, hands folded tightly on the table, jaw clenched, his eyes flicking nervously between the wives. Robin's posture is rigid, a mixture of determination and restrained emotion. Christine leans forward slightly, her expression a calculated mask, hiding the storm within. Janelle clasps her hands tightly, knuckles white, while Mary shifts uneasily, glancing toward the door, as if an escape could save her from the mounting tension. The judge enters, her presence commanding immediate silence. She peers over her glasses, scanning the room with sharp precision. We will continue with testimony regarding the undisclosed agreements and their impact on the family's custody arrangements, she states. The words hang in the air like a challenge, signaling that the next revelations will strike at the heart of this family. Robin rises first, voice steady but heavy with emotion. Your Honor, what we are about to hear isn't just about documents or money. It's about the foundation of our family, the trust that was promised to us, the love we believed was mutual, and the decisions made without our knowledge that have deeply affected our lives. Her eyes meet Cody's for a brief moment, the unspoken tension almost unbearable. Cody's hands tremble slightly, betraying a crack in his calm facade. Christine interrupts sharply, her tone icy and precise. Trust? The word has been twisted beyond recognition. Choices were made in the shadows, alliances formed in secrecy, and now we are left to pick up the pieces of a family that no longer exists in the way we believed it did. Her voice rises slightly, but controlled, slicing through the tension like a knife. The next revelation will make you question every relationship in this family, shaking loyalties to their core. The first witness of the session is a legal advisor who had previously consulted with Cody on family arrangements. Their testimony is cautious, measured, but every word carries the potential to ignite the courtroom further. These agreements were structured in a way that obscured certain decisions from other family members. The advisor explains, showing documents and emails on the courtroom screen. The implications for custody and financial distribution are significant. The women exchange tense glances, shock, anger, and disbelief etched on their faces. Janelle presses a hand to her mouth, trying to remain composed, while Mary's shoulders shake slightly, the realization of betrayal hitting her in waves. Robin leans forward, her expression hard, a mixture of vindication and grief. Christine's eyes narrow, absorbing every detail, ready to use this testimony to her advantage. Cody remains stoic on the surface, but the subtle tension in his body betrays his anxiety. A dramatic shift occurs when the witness presents an email chain between Cody and an external consultant discussing custody strategies. The contents reveal favoritism and manipulations that directly impact the children. The courtroom reacts immediately. Janelle gasps audibly. Robin's hands tremble, and Mary lets out a quiet sob. Christine rises abruptly, her voice sharp and accusing. So this is the protection you spoke of. Deciding our children's lives in secret. And just when you think the family has reached its breaking point, a shocking confession will turn everything upside down. The next witness is a trusted family friend, someone who had maintained distance, but observed the unfolding tensions. Their testimony is emotional, recounting private conversations, secret promises and warnings ignored. I tried to intervene, they say, voice quivering. I told them that transparency was crucial, but my words were dismissed. And now the consequences are unavoidable. Each revelation lands with a heavy weight, causing reactions ranging from tears to visible anger. Robin rises, her voice trembling with both sorrow and determination. We believed in honesty. We believed in a family built on shared decisions. But these actions, this secrecy, it shattered everything. Christine leans forward, voice low but venomous. And shed, we were never equal in this equation. Some were kept in the dark while decisions shaped our lives and our children's lives. And now we're paying the price. The next testimony will reveal secrets that no one expected, threatening to change the entire courtroom dynamic. The emotional peak of the session hits when pre-recorded audio of Cody's private conversations is played. His voice is calm, almost casual, discussing strategic decisions with one wife while excluding the others. The reactions are immediate and raw. Janelle covers her face, trying to hold back tears. Mary trembles, clutching the armrest. Robin's eyes flare with a mixture of hurt and anger. Christine sits forward, jaw tight, analyzing each word with precision, ready to use every syllable as ammunition. The judge pauses, letting the room absorb the weight of the recordings. The air is thick with emotion, each participant processing the implications in silence. Cody shifts uncomfortably, finally breaking his stoic mask. I never wanted this to hurt anyone. I thought I was protecting the family. His voice is quiet, almost pleading, but the courtroom is unyielding. A surprise witness enters, a previously uninvolved relative with direct knowledge of additional hidden arrangements. Their testimony is hesitant at first, but grows with intensity as they reveal clandestine meetings, undisclosed promises, and manipulations spanning months. Each detail lands like a strike, reshaping perceptions and alliances. The women react with shock, anger, and grief. Robin's voice hardens, Christine's stare sharpens, and Janelle and Mary both struggle to maintain composure. The next revelation will push this family to the brink, leaving no one untouched by betrayal. The session concludes with the introduction of a notarized document, previously undisclosed, detailing significant changes in custody and financial arrangements. The implications are devastating, sparking emotional reactions from every wife. Robin grips the edge of the table, fighting to maintain control. Christine leans forward, voice low and accusatory, demanding explanations. Janelle closes her eyes, taking shallow breaths, while Mary's quiet sobs underscore the gravity of the situation. Even Cody cannot hide the tension, his composure slipping under the weight of exposure. The gavel strikes, signaling the end of the session, but the storm is far from over. The courtroom is left in suspended disbelief, questions hanging like lightning in the air. Who will emerge with the moral high ground? Which alliances are genuine, and which are built on manipulation? And when the courtroom reconvenes, what devastating revelations will shatter this family further? The audience is left on the edge of their seats, desperate for answers, as the story continues to unravel with increasing intensity. The courtroom feels smaller than ever, the air thick with anticipation and fear. Every person present carries the weight of the previous session's betrayals, revelations, and heartbreaks that have left emotional scars no one can ignore. Cody sits at the center, posture rigid, fingers drumming nervously against the polished table. Robin leans forward, eyes sharp, determined, but shadowed by the grief that has grown heavier with each revelation. Christine sits poised, her expression unreadable yet calculated, ready to strike at any sign of weakness. Janelle clutches her hands in her lap, knuckles white, while Mary rocks slightly, fighting to remain composed amidst the escalating chaos. The judge enters, her presence commanding immediate silence. We will proceed with testimonies regarding previously undisclosed communications and their impact on custody and family trust, she announces, her tone neutral yet heavy with authority. The words settle over the courtroom like a storm cloud, signaling that this session will bring revelations that may shatter bonds permanently. Robin rises first, her voice steady yet charged with emotion. Your Honor, what is about to be revealed affects not only our family's finances, but the hearts and lives of our children. It's about trust, secrecy, and choices made in the shadows. Her eyes meet Cody's for a fleeting second, a silent challenge passing between them. Cody's jaw tightens, a flicker of regret crossing his otherwise composed face. Christine interrupts sharply, her tone cutting through the tension. Trust? There has been no trust for years. Decisions were made without transparency, alliances formed in secrecy, and now we are forced to confront the consequences. This family has been living a lie. Her words reverberate across the courtroom, sharp and precise, and the energy in the room intensifies. The next revelation will shock you, and make every viewer question the true loyalties within this family. The first witness is a financial consultant who had previously worked quietly in the background, but now steps forward with evidence that threatens to redefine the entire case. Documents, emails, and screenshots are presented, revealing hidden transfers, undisclosed arrangements, and manipulations of family funds that were unknown to all but Cody. The courtroom reacts instantly. Robin's eyes widen. Janelle presses a hand to her mouth. Mary trembles, and Christine leans forward, voice low and cutting, absorbing every detail. Cody remains still, the calm exterior cracking slightly as tension radiates from his posture. A sudden shift occurs when a private text message is revealed. A conversation between Cody and an external advisor, discussing custody strategies without consulting any of the wives. The content is damning. Hints of favoritism, manipulation, and decisions made solely by him. The women react immediately. Christine stands, voice slicing through the tense silence. So this is how you protected the family? By making secret deals behind our backs. Janelle's hands shake as she whispers, I can't believe this is happening. Robin's expression hardens, determination replacing the sorrow in her eyes. Just when it seems nothing could be more shocking, a surprise witness will turn the courtroom upside down. The surprise witness enters, a distant relative whose loyalty had always been ambiguous. Their testimony is hesitant at first, but grows with intensity as they recount clandestine conversations, undisclosed agreements, and actions taken without the knowledge of the other wives. Each revelation lands like a strike, reshaping perceptions and alliances. Few women react with shock, anger, and grief. Robin's voice trembles as she says, We were kept in the dark, and our lives were manipulated without our knowledge. Christine's reply is sharp, cold, and accusing. We weren't kept in the dark, we were deliberately excluded, and now the consequences are unavoidable. The session reaches a fever pitch when pre-recorded audio of Cody speaking privately with one wife is played in court. His voice is calm, discussing strategic decisions while intentionally excluding others. The reactions are immediate and raw. Janelle covers her face. Mary trembles. Robin's eyes flare with a mixture of grief and fury, and Christine sits forward, analyzing each word, ready to use them as ammunition. The courtroom energy is electrifying, a combination of disbelief, anger, and heartbreak. The next evidence will shock even the most loyal viewers, threatening to upend every alliance in the room. The final climax of the session comes when a notarized document is introduced, detailing previously hidden agreements regarding custody and financial arrangements. The implications are devastating, leaving every woman visibly shaken. Robin grips the edge of the table, knuckles white, while Christine leans forward, voice low and accusatory, demanding answers. Janelle closes her eyes, taking shallow breaths, and Mary's quiet sobs fill the silent room. Even Cody's composure falters, his usually calm exterior crumbling under the weight of exposure. As the gavel strikes, signaling the end of the session, the courtroom remains in a charged, almost suffocating silence. Questions hang heavy in the air. Which alliances are genuine? Who can be trusted? And when the courtroom reconvenes, what final revelations will push this family to the brink? The audience is left breathless, craving the next session where answers, and possibly even more shocking twists, await.